We turn our attention now to the escalating situation in the Middle East. Let's bring in CBS News senior foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab. He is in the Qatari capital of Doha. This is where Israel's strikes toward Hamas took place yesterday. Imtiaz, good morning to you. Put all of this in context for us. We've seen Israeli forces conduct similar operations elsewhere in the region, but what makes this different?
Errol, good to be with you. And not just similar strikes. Just in the last 24 hours, Israel has carried out strikes in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, and elsewhere. But the strike here on the Qatari capital, Doha, has shocked the region, quite frankly. In fact, when I first heard the news, I was gobsmacked by it. This is not what you would expect here in the Qatari capital. You can see the skyline behind me. It is this glittering modern city, but it's also been where Israeli, American, and Hamas officials have been meeting very regularly to try to negotiate some sort of agreement which would see the war in Gaza end and which would see hostages released. It's essentially seen as neutral territory for these groups. We should also explain that Qatar is also home to the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East and Central Command. This is also a country that is gifting President Trump with what will become the next Air Force One. So this is a very close ally of the United States. It plays an outsized role here in the Middle East, despite its small size. And for Israel to carry out these strikes, alerting the U.S. very just before it, and the U.S. not telling Qatar, well, that raises even more questions that the Qataris are demanding answers for. Errol.
And Imtiaz, earlier this hour, we heard Holly Williams ask a former Israeli intelligence official his thoughts, and he believes this is Netanyahu saying he wants to continue the war in Gaza. Where does this then leave the hopes of a ceasefire agreement? This is where that is being negotiated.
Yeah, that word sabotage is being used a lot when it comes to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's language being used by hostage families. It's language being used by former security officials and military officials, former military officials in Israel when describing some of his actions, including this one here. What we have to remember is that we understand that Hamas leaders were meeting here in Doha to discuss a proposal that President Trump himself had put forward, and some are suggesting we're likely to accept. That, of course, is off the table. And it really just underscores the question that many people are asking is whether or not the Israeli prime minister, despite saying on the record that he wants to see Hamas defeated and wants to see the war ended and wants to see the hostages homed, but his actions, at least the orders that he's been carrying out across the region, seem to speak otherwise.
All right. We'll stay close to Imtiaz throughout the day for updates on this. Imtiaz, thank you very much for joining us from Doha.